Howdy ho YouTube, Major Cord here, and right now we're going to take a look at a very high value and very classy looking EDC option. This is the Kershaw Chill. It's an R.J. Martin design knife, and it was actually the second EDC knife that I purchased. It's actually the knife that got my best friend addicted to knives. So I'm quite proud of that. I got it for him as, let's see, how old was he? I mean, we were the same age, but I'm trying to think what birthday I got him for. It was 19? Yeah, I think we both turned 19 when I got him this knife. But it is a flipper deployed knife. The blade, I think, comes in at right about 3.25 inches. And it weighs, I want to say, about 3 ounces. I don't know. It's light. Again, I don't own a scale, so can't be bothered to figure this out. Look it up if you want to know. This I wouldn't qualify as a hard-use knife at all. It's a smaller, gentlemanly knife. As you can see, the knife is hardly larger than my very manly meat hooks. But it's still a decently comfortable knife. After doing some hard cardboard cutting, though, I can tell you that there are some hot spots in the blade, specifically the pocket clip, the way it sits down here. It's just, for hard cutting tasks, it's very uncomfortable. But just for general carry and use, you're not going to notice it. If you're cutting open some packages or something, it's not going to bug you. There is no jimping, which doesn't really bug me. But your fingers are locked in by the fact that there's a nice choil and that the flipper acts as a finger guard. So you're good and safe there. The handle material is a low traction G10. I'm not going to call this very grippy. It's there. But it doesn't provide much. But for a knife of this price, which is round about $16, what more can you ask for? You know? The flipping action is okay. I mean, it's not one of those knives where you're going to be able to open it most of the time by just pushing the flipper. As you can see, I did once, but you're probably going to need some wrist action in there, you know? A good stiff flick of the wrist, and this will flick open. And it has an oddly hollow sound when it opens. I don't know what causes that, honestly. But the liner lock is thin, but it engages solidly. On a small knife like this, I don't care about the size of the liner lock. I'm not at all concerned about the strength of it. So, that's not an issue. It is a solid knife. There's no side-to-side wiggle, no up and down. But you're not going to be using this for a lot of hard cutting tasks anyway. Centering is off, but for the price you pay, you really can't expect a ton. I'm pretty sure this was actually centered at one point, but I took this apart to take some rust off of the blade, and putting it back together, it moved over a bit. So you're just going to have to figure out the ideal combination of centeredness, is that a word? Blade tightness and, you know, blade centeredness. I'm pretty sure that is not a word. But at this point, I really don't care. So, what else? You have phosphor bronze bushings. Yes, you have phosphor bronze bushings in there. You have one phosphor bronze washer, if it will focus, and one nylon washer. So you have a decent degree of fluidity within your pivot. Now, I mentioned rust. This blade is the only EDC knife that I've ever had rust on me. Ever. It uses Kershaw's HCR13 MOV blade steel, as you can see. And it has a, I believe, bead blasted finish. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to show up because of my horrendously poor lighting and the fact that there's hair on the blade from where the oil is making it stick. But you might be able to see some spots of rust on this blade. Okay. So as you can see, this knife had some rust issues. And I really would like to know why, because I have not treated this knife any differently than any of my other blades. Kept it oiled, didn't use it any differently. This knife just rusted on me. It rusted. I'm completely confused as to why. It was stored the same way, used the same way, carried the same way, has the same blade steel. It's probably about 50% of my knife collection. I mean, I have no explanation for it. So, that is odd to me. I live in a decently, humid climate, but none of my blades rust, other than this one. So that to me is a bit of a mystery. And the rust itself has stopped me from carrying it regularly. That and the fact that I've just gotten other blades to take its place. However, I'm not going to really dock points for that. This knife is still a fairly good and usable knife. It is small in my hands. I wish it were a larger knife. If I were to pick up another knife in similar design concepts to this, what's the name of that knife? I think it's the Zing, the Kershaw Zing, or something like that. It reminds me of this knife. It's another R.J. Martin design. Many of his designs are similar to this. I would probably try that, because I do like the looks of this knife. It's just a tad small. But for the price of, $16 to $20, it is a good knife. The blade shape is nice. It almost reminds me of a fillet knife. And, it carries well. The pocket clip, I really have no complaints about that. It's a slim carrying knife. It's almost the type of knife that I'd coin a secondary EDC. Like if you're the type to carry a larger tactical blade, this could be your smaller EDC knife. I don't know. I was like that for a time. I believed in the whole tactical blade philosophy. And then I just kind of dropped that because I saw no need to do that. But yeah, it's a decent blade. I'm going to say it's decent. Mainly because I hate when my blades rust out on me. But don't let that throw you off. Give it a shot. Just maintain it. I don't know whether I got a lemon for some reason. I don't know. But yeah, give it a shot. I can't say that I hate it. It hasn't struck that chord within me that I really adore. We'll put it that way. But I still own it. I'm not getting rid of this knife anytime soon. So, with that, thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more. Take care.